welcome to the Dance Clark and Alex Brown Show. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we thank you for it tonight. We got an action-packed show, a lot of news about the Bears, a lot of news around the NFL. We also got Chris Cook coming on to talk a little NHL, and we also got some NBA talk. But without further ado, we need to mention somebody who's up here on the set with us. Glad to have him in. 1985 Super Bowl champion Otis Wilson. Glad to have you in the house tonight. Appreciate you coming.
Good to be here. Thank you.
That's right.
Good to be here.
And of course, y'all give yourself a hand out there. Got a packed out house.
Right.
Y'all come in and support us. We appreciate that.
All right.
And to jump right into the show, I guess there's only one thing that we got to start with tonight. Before we get to talking about any other football, we got to.
This is embarrassing too.
It is embarrassing because it's a blackout on the organization. You've been hearing about it all day. Yeah. It's about the Sam Hurd saga. Him getting arrested last night for federal drug charges. When you heard about that, what was your first thoughts, Alex?
I couldn't believe it. I was stunned. I mean, we're talking about crack. We're not talking about like drinking and driving. We're talking about cocaine. We're talking about buying 1,000 pounds.
1,000 pounds of weed.
1,000 pounds of weed. Come on, that is ridiculous.
Of marijuana only. We're not even talking about the white stuff yet.
Right. We're talking about it. This is something that it didn't just start, and that's what scares me. That it didn't just start. This has been going on for a while now. For him to get to the point where he feels like he can distribute this amount of, I guess, weed and cocaine weekly. This is weekly we're talking about. It's unbelievable.
When you heard about it, what was your initial thoughts on that?
Well, the first thing I thought is a selfish act. You got people depending on you, meaning your teammates.
Right.
You're in the middle. You're almost at the end part of the season. Everybody is focused on making a playoff run, and you concerned with about, acquiring narcotics and distributing narcotics. You're right. It just didn't start.
Right.
Somebody is putting wrong information in this young kid's head, and to screw your career up over something as senseless as that. I really feel sorry for him, man.
This is the thing that's coming out now. They're saying he's actually one of the head people of the whole Chicagoland area as a drug dealer. So this had to be taking place over a long period of time.
Well, you guys been in the league for a long time. Mm-hmm. You understand, number one, the kind of dollars you're dealing with,
right,
and the access that you have, with the chartered planes, mm-hmm, where you don't go through the regular, the security that the average person that travel goes through.
Exactly.
This is not the first time that a player has done something like this, not maybe at this level, in this quantity, but getting on a plane, putting narcotics in their bag, mm-hmm, transporting it from state to state with the intent to distribute or get it to somebody else.
Right.
You got that easy access, so guys, that's not getting the right information, that's around the wrong influence, would think that's easy to do and can really fall prey to that. Now, I don't condone it, but he just screwed his life up.
I don't condone it either. And I honestly, I've heard a lot of people today over the radio and throughout the media outlets say that, oh my gosh, I cannot believe he's doing this. I don't understand why he's doing this. Now, money is the reason he's doing it.
Bottom line,
okay,
money.
Let's not get this wrong.
But money is the reason. I don't understand. I mean, you're playing in the NFL. You're making great money.
Well,
he's making good money too.
We're talking about
tax-free money.
He's making $40 million a year at it.
Right.
$2.5 million a month is what they estimated.
$2.5 million a month. Not to mention, he don't have to pay taxes on this stuff. This is crazy. Now, I don't condone it. I've seen it growing up. Growing up in Florida, I saw it happening. But it's something that I never concerned myself with.
Exactly.
But it definitely happens, and I think this right here is an example of why, regardless, we play football, yes, but we're imperfect, like a lot of people. And I heard a lot of people say you make mistakes. We are imperfect.
Did you just admit that you make mistakes, Alex?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I did. Yes,
right here, you guys all heard it. Alex Brown makes mistakes.
I
just want to point that out.
And I was saying that we make mistakes. Like a lot of people want to say, "Oh, you're a role model." Yeah, but yeah, we are role models. But we do make mistakes as well.
Exactly.
Now, this I'm not calling a mistake. This right here,
this
this right here is
planned.
not a mistake.
A
Okay,
selfish
mistake.
act, yeah.
This is a selfish act. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you
only
listen to
just-
the Des Clark Show. If you want to get in on the conversation, you could dial 773-382-8732. I think I cut you off. You was about to make a point.
Well, when I first heard the news, well, look, honestly, the first thought that went through mine is there's an open roster spot in the Bears.
And I reached
That was the first. But secondly, unfortunately,
Does that mean I can come out of retirement?
No, that means I can come
how
out of
about any
retirement.
one of you
They
guys?
need a receiver.
I would
They
love
don't
any
need
one of
no
you guys.
defensive player.
To come out of retirement, fine. But I can tell you this. The thought that went through my head was shocking because my initial thought, unfortunately, was how many others?
And they say it's a few.
You got to sell, when you're selling drugs, you're selling drugs to people who can afford it and who have money. And I had just gotten done watching the Marinovich story. And I just thought to myself, is how far do we go down this hole? How many players are involved, number one? And secondly was, how do the Bears not know?
Well, I'm going to tell you
Do the Bears
this.
have blame?
No, the Bears have no blame in this. I sat right next to this dude in training camp, and we had some outstanding conversations. The dude is a articulate dude. He's a nice guy. He's one of those guys when you sit next to him, you have no choice but to smile and be happy because he has that type of go about him. I mean, we talked about being good fathers. We talked about our daughters. We talked about parents taking control of their kids and make sure they get their education. I mean, he talked about his wife and how much he loved her. Then you get this, and I'm like, oh, hold on, who in the hell was I talking to?
But you can be all that and do what he's
Obviously.
doing. You can be a great father, you can be a great husband, and you can still sell coke and sell weed. Obviously, because obviously from what you're saying, to you he was a great guy.
Yeah.
Because he's selling all this stuff doesn't mean he's a great guy. Now he done made some bad choices.
Right.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean he's not a great guy though.
Well,
Now, I'm not taking up for him now. I'm just saying.
I have another spin on this, and I'm not ashamed to say it. Growing up in Brooklyn, New York, I knew guys that was selling stuff. I mean, you obviously in certain communities, you go and you see people standing on the corner, or you see guys driving around in a Rolls Royce and don't have a job. It's obviously he's doing something.
Right.
And we're not dummies. We've been around long enough, and we've been in this world. You know what he's doing. You've talked to these people, and they're nice people. I know them. I don't hang out with them. I don't associate with them. I don't do anything with them. But I can't deny that I know these individuals, and as we say in the neighborhood, they live by the sword, they die by the sword.
That's right.
And like you mentioned in Miami, you see it all. You see people like that. Everybody can't afford certain things, and they do certain things in life and make choices that are not popular. And it's just a fact of life. But the Bears have I'm quite sure everybody in that organization, from the players to the coaches to the owners, had no idea any of this was going on, because that's not something you talk about.
Right.
When you are dealing in that world, that's a secret world, and
I totally agree.
he don't know what's
With
going on.
that being said, it was from what I understand, it was a matter of public record after there was a vehicle owned by Sam Hurd, which was pulled over after an arranged meet. Sam Hurd was not in the vehicle, but it was owned by Sam. And in that vehicle, they found both marijuana and $88,000 in cash. Now, that was made public, and the question that I'm sure will come out from the NFL is,
That wasn't made public.
yeah, it's a matter of public record when you do those sort of things. So
Yeah, but
if you're
who's
doing
one- who's
background
one- who's
investigative
one is-
research, well, every team has a person that is assigned. I believe the Bears' name is Dillon, a guy by the name of Dillon.
Right.
Tom Dillon?
Tom Dillon.
Tom Dillon, that he's supposed to be doing those sort of things. The question is how, is he just sitting in a computer pulling up the same stuff that maybe a tenant background check does?
No,
Well,
but
if
what
that's
is
Tom's
that?
job, then he
Right.
should have. He
But
should
what
have
is-
seen that.
But what is him having $88,000 in a car going?
And marijuana in his car. Let's not forget that. Marijuana.
But-
a grassy green leaf.
He
is
did-
what it said in the.
But he didn't confess to the marijuana. He didn't say that the marijuana was his.
He didn't say it, but it was in his vehicle, and that should have been reported to the team so that they could,
Right.
Then look, and that's all I'm wondering. At what point? Look, Sam Hurd, I'm not even going to talk about it. As far as I'm concerned, anybody who willingly makes that choice doesn't deserve me even wasting my breath on it. That gentleman should go away for a very long time. Now, with that being said, Des,
Oh, he will.
you alluded to, well,
He
right
may.
now they're talking
He
about,
may.
He may.
Here's everything
they're talking
that
about
they're saying.
40 years. Now, I was listening. Some legal experts have said that he could possibly get that sentence reduced if he talks and gives some big names. Now, let's talk about this. He wasn't arrested by the DEA. He was arrested by Homeland Security, which means cross-the-border stuff, which means cartels, which means his life right now is in danger. His life is in danger.
That's why I think he'll go for a long. That's why I think he'll go for a long time, because those people you don't. Who you gonna tell on? They come over here and they can take your whole family. This is some really serious stuff that we're
goes
talking
deeper
about.
than just the surface level. Oh, he was selling drugs and now he's going to jail. I mean,
it's definitely deeper than that.
This stuff you see in the movies.
Yeah,
right. It's stuff you see in the movies. That's a perfect way to put it.
And it's funny that you say that, because today, being on Twitter and kind of following the story, somebody wrote that Sam Hurd obviously didn't see the ending of the Godfather and of Scarface.
Yeah.
Because if he
Say hello to my little Hurd.
Because honestly, that's how this stuff ends.
Yeah.
You're either gonna end up in prison or in the cemetery, and that's how it ends.
Exactly.
It's unfortunate, but that's how this type of stuff works. And that's if you live that type of life, then this is the type of stuff that's gonna happen.
You're always looking over your shoulder.
Okay, let's get to some football stuff.
Yeah, there you
Football.
More
Football stuff.
Football.
You talking football?
What? Football?
Well,
Are
that's
they
what
playing football here? They're still playing, right?
they still playing. And you know what?
Wait, in what cities? Because I don't know if they're playing in Chicago lately.
They didn't play in Chicago last week. They're playing.
Is Marion Barber playing? I haven't heard a word out of him. Is he playing?
No, he talked to Zach.
He's low key. He's low key right now.
What did he talk today?
He did talk to Zach.
He talked to Zach Zaidman and said, I'm not answering that question.
Yes, he did. He talked to him, but he really didn't talk to him.
So he's not going to get
The
fined
Bears
because he actually
arranged
talked.
for him to talk to in-house website and
But
Zach
seriously,
Zaidman. That was
but
it.
seriously, what do you think he's going to say? What do you want him to say? I'm sorry. You know he's sorry.
Honestly, you don't want to hear him say I'm sorry, but there are rumors out there persisting about Marion Barber that the reason he ran out of bounds was he was trying to get to the 100-yard mark.
He didn't run out of bounds.
He got pushed out of bounds.
He got knocked out of bounds.
Was he within a half a yard of the sideline?
He ran knocked out of bounds.
Yeah, he got knocked out of bounds.
I know what running out of bounds is, and I know
tell
what
you,
being
if he was
knocked
my
out of
teammate,
bounds.
he would have been more than knocked out of bounds.
But he could have made an effort to stay in bounds too.
Let's take about 10 seconds here. Please tell us what you would have done to Marion Barber on the plane.
Yeah.
On the plane ride home.
Hey, did you guys ever see the movie The
Hold on, First of all,
Replacements?
you're only going to be the kicker.
Yes. You can only be the punter or the kicker, so that's it.
Did you ever see the movie The Replacements?
I did.
John Favreau's character goes and beats the snot out of...
That was a movie, though.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
That was a movie.
Hey, I don't get on the field. I have to live in my phantom reality, all right? What would you have done, Notice?
Sounds good, though.
Yeah, it sounds good.
What would you have done, Notice? I
Definitely
mean,
sounds
if I don't know, Matt Suey ran the ball out of bounds.
No, why wouldn't you go? No.
Let's go
Say
Peyton.
it.
Well,
Okay.
you really can't compare.
Well, Walter would never
that.
run out of bounds.
We all
Walter was too
know
smart.
what you supposed to
Okay,
have done.
Neil
That's
Anderson.
right.
Did you play Neil Anderson?
Neil Anderson, yes, I played
Okay,
with
so
Neil.
we'll compare to Neil Anderson.
Yeah. Well, I think Neil would have had the presence of mind to stay in bounds.
I
But
think that goes to the intelligence of the play.
But no, I think
Well, I don't
that,
question his intelligence, but you got to know in certain situations,
Right.
especially you holding the football,
Right.
and 2 minutes to go in the game, you stay in bounds.
Exactly. I mean, you're looking at a guy, Marion Barber, who was highly touted when he went to Dallas. Was available as a free agent for the Bears. Why? He's an injury-prone gentleman that makes dumb kind of rookie mistakes.
And he made 2 rookie mistakes 2 weeks in a row.
I don't know if fumbling is a rookie mistake.
No, we're talking about lining
Well,
up.
no,
in the
fumbling,
Kansas City
because
game.
he doesn't
Lining up-
fumble. He
lining up
fumbled 6
incorrectly.
times in his career. So it's not the fumble, it's the running out of bounds. And then
The
getting
running out of
touchdown
bounds.
And
negated.
lining up
Yeah.
wrong, you
Yeah, how
can't
can you
cover
not-
the tackle when
Right,
you're
you have
supposed
to
be
cover
off the
him
ball.
up.
Right.
One or the other.
Right. So, I mean, those two things, and that brings up another question for me. After 2 weeks of seeing him having these mishaps, do you put Khalil Bell in there a little bit more? Because he showed a burst last
I'm
week.
Khalil Bell all
Yeah.
day.
Khalil Bell or Marion Barber?
Earned the right.
What
Khalil
you
Bell.
guys think? Khalil Bell, Marion Barber out there. Khalil Bell? Anybody Khalil Bell?
Anyone with
Bell.
Khalil Bell?
Marion Barber?
Who wants Marion Barber starting next week?
Nobody Khalil Bell? You say Khalil Bell?
They over there eating. They
Yeah, they ain't over there.
they got food in their mouth.
Can't put him in.
Forte. That's not
Can't
going to
put him
happen.
in. No.
Can't have them yet.
Not yet.
I can
Marion?
Khalil Bell.
You know that you brought up a good point. Khalil was running the ball very well. And I understand when you got two backs, it's always good to have the downhill runner and the guy that's a dual back that you can throw the ball to, and he's short, and he can certainly run the football well. Khalil was running the ball very well. Merriam
was
ran the ball well the first half.
They both had an energy about him
so
that was awesome.
At this point in the game, you keep that two-headed monster going. Why they just decided okay, let him run downhill. Well, that's Lovey had to answer that.
I guess my question was, after two critical mistakes in back-to-back games, I mean, would Ditka still have that guy starting after almost really blowing 2 games?
Well, he most certainly been sitting on the sideline.
And that's what I'm saying.
We all know from the time you step on that field to the time you walk off that field, you have to keep your head in the game at all times. Because any one mistake can get you beat, and we've seen it. And to do it, like you said, the fumble. You secure the ball.
Right.
You have to put 2 hands on the ball. But sometimes guys strip the ball and it happens. But lining up and staying in bounds, that's elementary.
The staying in bounds is the one that bothers me the most. The lining up off sides, I mean, I think, or lining up illegally, not lining up on the ball, that bothers me because he just didn't know it. That's a small thing. He's supposed to know that.
Exactly.
But I don't think that cost him the game. That happened early in the game. I don't think that cost. This running out of bounds cost them the game.
Exactly.
If he doesn't run out of bounds, what does Tebow have? 12 seconds?
Let's talk about that.
No time.
Let's talk about that. What really cost the Bears the game? Was it just Marion Barber running out of bounds, or was there more to the mile-high meltdown than just that?
Well, you can't say.
Well, it started with.
Well, I think there's a lot of things that it was, but when you narrow it down, I think if Marion Barber doesn't run out of bounds, they run off another 35 seconds on that clock.
No, they run off another minute and 20 seconds because that was
third down. That was going to third down.
That was second down when he ran out.
So, I mean, Otis, obviously you watched the game. Outside of Marion, I mean, do you believe that anything else is at fault in the mile-high meltdown?
Well, like these guys just indicated, you can't really put it on one play. You look at the whole game, you look what the defensive scheme at the end where they was giving them 15 or 20 yards and letting Tebow throw the football. My thing is, he can't throw the football well. He can throw it, but he can't throw it well. Press these guys. Get out there and pressure them. Don't just lay back and let them go. And in the offense, when you're in a 2-minute offense, there's certain things you have to do that's mandated, and you got to stick with that plan. So you can blame the coaches, you can blame the players.
I think it's a system-wide thing. Go ahead, Alex.
I played in this system, and also played last year with the New Orleans Saints with a guy by the name of Greg Williams. And in that situation, during 2-minute drills, he damn near go cover 0 and blitz everybody to make you throw the ball. If there's a situation where the Kansas City situation, when the Hail Mary at the end of the half, he would have blitzed all out and make them throw it now, as opposed to giving them a chance to throw the ball deep in the end zone to see what would happen. Which one do you want to do? Because I understand both, but you don't want your young safeties to let anything get over the top. So that's why they're playing 25 yards back.
Because all game long they got beat.
Well, you got to think about it.
You don't want them to get beat now. That's what I'm saying.
When they went on that 5-game winning streak, they were playing the same way.
Correct.
I guess so, but
you can't like it when it's good and then not like it when it doesn't work.
All right, but when we were on the 5-game winning streak, we had an offense that could keep the ball.
True.
The last 3 possessions in regulation, we ran 9 running plays and punted 3 times, all from the 9-minute mark in. We couldn't sustain a drive. We never gave a chance by calling a play to actually go for the first down. 3rd and 12, run the ball.
Is that a byproduct of our quarterback?
I think it's a big byproduct of a 45% quarterback rating. Yes.
That was 48%. That was a 10-point lead the Bears had at that time, correct?
I believe it's
10-0.
It's 10-0. Yeah. Now, you tell me they come out with Caleb Haney, they throw the ball 3 times, trying to get the first down.
Just once of those 3 times.
They throw the ball once.
1 out of 9.
They don't run out any time if it's incomplete.
They didn't run out at any time when Marion Barber ran out of bounds anyway.
Well, they didn't run any time on that play, but I'm just saying that there's a reason to argue anything that Lovey does, but he's the one on the sideline that has to make that call, and we all sit back and we'll say, okay, you know what, you shouldn't have did that.
from on the sideline, we can say about 9 million different things.
Right.
We played the game, we understand the game, we know the game. When you have 3 AFC teams that should not beat you,
Without a doubt.
that beats you, but yet you have Matt Forte out, you have Cutler out, so therefore you change the game plan, you go with what's best, you run the football, you play cautious with the football, but you stay aggressive as a defense. One thing with defense that don't differentiate, you stay aggressive, you got to duck, you go get them, you put them down, and you tar and feather them.
Would Buddy Ryan ever played prevent defense?
Buddy Ryan would have went after he would have went after their
25 yards deep is deep.
and wouldn't let it go.
That's not.
Right.
Yeah.
We would have scored 21 points on him.
The defense would have, yes.
Exactly. I mean,
But
we would have been aggressive.
Buddy Ryan's defense. We don't have those players.
Yes,
Right.
but as a fan, I love to talk about the 85 Bears.
when we look at
6 Hall of Famers
Yeah,
on the defense.
exactly.
And when we look at this
were the Hall of
team,
Famers because they were great players or great players in the perfect system built for them? Or both?
It was great players utilized the right way.
the perfect storm meant.
I mean, you had Richard Dan Hampton,
But let me
Mike
say this.
Singletary.
You put all of those same great players in this system, all those same great players might still be Hall of Famers because they fed off of each other.
Yeah.
They fed off of each other. And you put
They
them,
sang a song together. I hope
And that's one thing too, though. As a defensive player, you're supposed to always go out there with a chip on your shoulder.
Right.
I mean, you play together, regardless of what the defensive coordinator call. You have to play it, and you have to play it together. And you know what's at stake. You're at a position where you got a playoff run. You've lost 2 games. You got to stay aggressive. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. And they made some good plays. I mean, the defense played well. I mean, it just seemed like in that last 5 minutes, we can't understand what the hell was going on because, they just played like a prevent defense. My thing is, when you got him down, keep him down. Put your foot on his throat.
Right. And you're getting that right from the Super Bowl champion of 1985, Otis Wilson. And you listen to the Des Clark and Alex Brown show. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break. And when we come back, we're going to talk more Bears and get into some NBA and some NHL. Before we go, just let me mention again that we have this pair of tickets to win for a $10 raffle donation here at the Tilted Kilt for the Bears versus Packer game on December 25th. And before we go to commercial, we got a trivia question for the crowd.
We have a trivia question. You're making me really loud in the house. All right, Tilted Kilt, we're going to give away a prize pack $25 gift certificate right here to the Tilted Kilt. You need to raise your hand on this answer. Trivia question. This is a Super Bowl trivia question. You must know your Super Bowl information. In the NFL, in order to play quarterback, your jersey number must be between the number of 1 and 19. Of all the Super Bowls that have been played, which jersey number worn by quarterbacks has started the most Super Bowls? Raise your hand first. Which guy? Dez has got him. What's your answer?
No.
It is not 10. You got to raise your hand. Do not shout out your answers. Back over there, 12. That is correct. The answer is indeed 12. The 12.
Come on up.
25 different times the number 12 has started the Super Bowl. 25 different times. 14 and 11 record in the Super Bowl for the number 12. All right, hold on a second. He's coming up here. I might sweeten the pot, but you have to name me all 25. Some of them have done more than one, right? Should I give you a hint? Should I give him how many there are?
Yes, give him how many actual quarterbacks there are.
There are 11 quarterbacks. 11 different quarterback names that wore the number 12. You got to get. What do you want to do?
8. If you get 8.
You want to give him 8?
Yeah. If you can get.
Come on, get on there.
If you can get 8 out of 11.
The number 12 quarterback that started the Super Bowl, give me 8 out of 11 by names.
Terry Bradshaw.
Yeah.
Terry Bradshaw. Alex Brown gave you Terry Bradshaw. Hold on. Wait, hold on. Let him answer, please. Please let him answer. Please let him. Terry Bradshaw, Roger Staubach, R&D 2. Please let him answer, please. We'll let everybody else give it a try later. That's 2. That's all you got. Why did you guess 12?
You said it. Yeah.
It's a guess. Everybody in the bar.
Good guess.
All right, who's got other guesses?
Who's got other guesses?
Kenny Stabler was indeed 3.
1. Is that 3?
That's 3 total.
That's 3.
Come on now. We already said Bradshaw, Starbuck, and Stabler. We're looking for 8 more. I heard Tom Brady. Tom Brady is 4. We're looking for 7 more.
Come on, guys. He won last year.
7 more.
He won last year.
Aaron Rodgers.
There was a 1.
Drew Brees is not number 12.
And get off your phones. You're not going to find it on your phones.
Come on now.
Googling it, all right?
There's no prizes for this. He already won his prize. We're just having fun now.
I see you Googling it over there.
This evening, we're sponsored by the Tilted Kilt right here at 447 North Milwaukee Avenue in Vernon Hills. We're here for about another hour and a half. So if you're tuned in live, come on out to the Tilted Kilt. Plenty of space, great food, and some excellent scenery. And I'm not talking about these 3 fine gentlemen to my right.
You could be. It applies.
That would be a little odd.
It applies.
It wouldn't surprise. Hey, what are you knocking it? There's nothing wrong with that.
Let's talk about this game.
Let's talk about something else.
Let's talk about something else.
Let's talk about this game that's coming up Sunday. It's the last game for the Bears playing against the Seattle team.
Wait. Are we going to skip over the
home game?
Are we skipping over the Miracle Man? Are we going to skip over them? I mean, we're going to talk about Denver. You got to talk about the Miracle Man.
He just keeps winning.
Miracle Man. The Miracle
T-Ball?
in Mile High.
Yeah.
And you're not talking about anything if you're not talking about Tebow.
I'm talking. I mean, what are we talking about? We can't go to Seattle without talking about Tebow.
This is what I want to know.
Oh my goodness.
This is what I want to know from you.
Okay.
Oh goodness.
Is this guy overrated right now, or is all the praise appropriate at this point?
Well, you know, at one point I said it was overrated. I can't lie and say I didn't say that. I thought he was getting too much publicity. But when you start winning games and getting the attention, you know, then you start to wonder that overrated, it goes to another level. But one thing I got to say, and you all can attest to this, when somebody tell you over and over again that you can't do something,
I'll be doggone.
you go out there and you prove them wrong.
Right.
And I
Every
think
time.
that's what this guy is doing. He's not only put a chip on his shoulder, he's going out there and saying, hey, I'm going to prove the critics wrong. But on the other hand, he's got his teammates believing it in him.
Right.
I'm hearing announcers now talking about, well, I'm going to church this weekend.
Man.
Amen. Hallelujah.
I think Tebow be going back home cussing everybody out. That's
Really?
Well, let me just say this. We had the preacher man, Mike Singletary, and I'll just tell you a quick story. He was always the consummate quiet guy, nicest guy in the world. But when he come out there on Sunday, he start cussing and swearing and all that. I'm like, Mike, what happened to the amen?
right.
So, hey, Tebow might be saying that, but he's got everybody believing.
They actually he was mic'd up for the game.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you saw that on NFL when they replayed the game back.
Yeah, NFL replay.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It was crazy how he was actually like so calm. They got the fumble. Okay. Does anybody know who caused the fumble on Marion Barber?
Some
Von
guy who
Miller.
was
Nobody knows.
Von Miller.
It wasn't
Von Miller.
Pretty sure it was Von Miller.
No, it wasn't.
Von Miller only has one hand anyway to grab him.
It was
That
number
was one
50
hand.
it was number 57, whoever that guy was.
It was not Von Miller. And who recovered the fumble? Doomerville. Nobody talks about that. Prater.
Matt Prater.
Prater kicked 2 crazy field goals. Nobody even talks about these people. And then everything goes to Tebow. Now, I'm a huge Tebow supporter, but
Obviously.
come on.
I mean, you're from the
but
Gator
seriously,
Nation.
though, I mean, come on. Like
He's not doing it by himself.
He's not doing it by himself.
The
That's
only-
all I'm saying.
I mean, the only reason he has a chance is the defense is keeping them in games. Let's be honest. They had
No,
2
I think the
turnovers.
only reason why the quarterback gets all the attention. I don't care what
Good
you
or
say.
bad.
Good or bad.
You can be the
losing
middle
or winning.
linebacker and make 35 tackles and get 2 sacks. Jim McMahon gonna get all the publicity on Monday morning. So the quarterbacks,
Yeah, but he got the publicity for his
they
headband.
get the notoriety. So, but that
Well, I mean-
Tebow is not doing it by himself.
No,
We
he's
all know
not.
that Tim Tebow is the most talked about white Bronco since the O.J. Simpson chase. He is the most talked about white Bronco since the O.J. Simpson chase.
You were waiting on that one, wasn't you?
waiting on it.
I've been trying to work that one in all night.
And with that, let's go to the phone line. We have Jeff on line 1. How you doing, Jeff?
What's going on, Ryan, Des, Alex?
How you doing?
How you doing?
I
What
think
you got
this is
for us?
Jeff,
You got
our
something about
webmaster,
Tebow?
Jeff.
I'm good. So Tebow is the anti-LeBron. He takes 3 quarters off and shows up in the 4th.
I don't know if he takes 3 quarters off because he keeps them in the game. He keeps the game close. By putting Tebow in, the Denver Broncos have the best running game in the NFL now. So I don't think he takes it off, but I think he kind of picks it up a little bit, and then the play calling completely changes. So they're trying to win the game. So I think the play calling changes as well.
Yeah. Thank you for your question.
I guess Jeff hung up.
No. I think he's there. I think we have a bad connection.
I'll head back to you soon, boys.
Thanks, Jeff. We really appreciate the call.
Thanks, Jeff.
And continue with the Tebow talk. You know, the guy's 7-1. And then this week, you still have his coach and the vice president of operation still not committed to the guy. When they're asked the question, is he's going to be the quarterback for next year? Nobody will say yes. He is our quarterback.
Would you, if you were the president?
Yeah. Right now,
would you commit to him right now?
Yes, right now I would.
And then when you draft Matt Barkley in the draft, what would you say?
That's just a business decision.
It's a business decision. You
Why can't
doggone
we say
right.
it's a business decision right now?
Well,
win- he
number
can win
one,
as
you
much as
have
he
to keep
wants.
that guy's confidence level high as it can be because you want him to produce. You don't want this season to all of a sudden just fall apart. So I got to do whatever I have to do, say whatever I have to say to keep his head in the game. But me as an owner and organization, I'm looking for the best players every day to put those pieces to the puzzle to get me to the big dance.
And that's all they can say is like Tebow is our quarterback for next year, but that's not to say that we're not going to try to bring in competition for him.
No, now competition is one thing, but when you bring in if you draft a Barkley or you draft a Robert Griffin III, oh, it's a wrap. That's not competition. You're putting the future of your organization in the hands of that quarterback you just drafted. The question I have for a lot of people
But they're not going to get a quarterback like that, though.
why not?
How do you know?
They're going to be in the playoffs.
There will be,
Playoffs?
but there will be, but I mean,
doesn't mean
I've
that
seen
a
a lot.
quarterback
I've
like
seen a lot of.
Hey, Dalton was drafted in the second round, I believe, this year.
He'll be competition.
Aaron Rodgers was what, 21?
He'll be competition.
Aaron Rodgers was 21st pick in the draft.
With that
There's
being said-
talented quarterbacks could drop that far.
Right, but that's competition.
I don't see why people have a problem with winning
top 10.
ugly.
Top 10 is a guy that you bring in right now, and he's anointed right away. Or you know that he's going to be your quarterback midway through the season or next year. But if it's not a top 10 guy, he's just competition at that point.
There's been a few quarterbacks that were drafted. Number one, Carson Palmer didn't play his whole first year.
But they had the understanding that he was going to be the quarterback of the future.
The future, right.
Yeah.
If they draft a quarterback first or second round, Tebow's not the future. Tebow wouldn't be the future unless he went to the AFC Championship game. Then maybe I start thinking about it.
If you were the GM
Not
of
kidding.
Miami,
I'm not, like, seriously, like,
let's say you're Miami Dolphins right now, and they're going to hire a new GM, more than likely Peterson, out of former Kansas City GM, and you need a quarterback down in Miami. Do you make overtures to trade for Tebow?
No.
Would you?
No.
But he's the man, right?
He's the man for Denver.
you need a quarterback
Because
over
Denver,
Moore?
Moore's hurt.
Because Denver has made concessions and changed their whole scheme and built around him just for his skill set. Now, if I'm Miami, that's not the quarterback who I'm looking for. I don't want to change up everything that is prototypical football for one guy. Denver has done that. I don't think no other team is going to be willing to trade for that and give up something, a draft pick or a decent player to have to change everything up. I just don't see that happening.
So why would you commit your organization to him?
Because Denver Broncos are winning with him.
And what's going to happen? It's going to be like the Tony Sperano thing in Miami. You lose one game, you're gone.
Well, I'm just sitting there thinking,
Oh, my goodness.
and I know football, you might be popular today, but tomorrow, if something come down the pipe, I'm going to kiss the other girl. Hey, I'm going with what's coming down the pipe. I mean, it's just reality. We all know we can be replaced at any time.
Right.
It's all about championship. And you're right. Denver has changed their whole system in catering to Tebow, and the defense is playing well. And you can't discount what these other guys are doing because he ain't doing it by himself. But the minute this season's over with, you can believe they're up there in that office trying to find them a good quarterback.
Oh, absolutely. They're trying to find a conventional quarterback. They got a Hall of Fame quarterback that's calling the shots.
Yeah.
He doesn't want option quarterback.
Because you need two guys anyway.
Exactly. We're having this conversation right now, and there's a guy by the name of Peyton Manning that people are talking about getting rid of this guy and drafting Andrew Luck. You can get rid of Peyton Manning. If you can actually have that, you can get rid of anybody.
Yeah.
Anybody.
That goes to show you.
Joe Montana was traded.
Joe Montana was traded.
Joe
Nobody
Montana?
else.
Joe Montana.
He was traded. Nobody else is exempt. There's no way.
That's why they call it the NFL, not for long.
I mean, how did Joe Montana deal with Steve Young sitting in his backup? You know, that's the kind of thing. You have to know that.
I don't know. Coming from, I would have loved to have known that. Like, I had an idea of how that relationship was, because Steve Young coming from Tampa Bay, as bad as Tampa Bay was, I don't even know if Joe Montana was even worried about it at first.
Steve Young was a pretty good quarterback coming out of college.
But he was running.
He went to USFL first.
Too.
Yeah, Young went to the USFL.
Right.
But
LA
I mean,
Express.
I just look at they complemented each other because it's totally two different type of quarterbacks. When you prepare for Joe Montana, you don't prepare for Steve Young the same way. But both of them, it was just as good.
How many years did Steve Young sit behind Joe Montana? Like 3 years?
It was like,
4 years?
3,
I think
4
so.
years.
Right.
And that was after he had one of the greatest quarterback games I've ever seen. Unfortunately, it was USFL. It was LA Express, I believe, versus the Austin team.
Because all the real players in the NFL.
You're talking
Jim
about
Kelly,
the USFL.
Jim
it wasn't
Kelly.
that great.
Yeah.
Jim Kelly versus Steve Young. Don't look that game up if you can. That game was a
Because all
quarterback.
the real defensive players was in the NFL.
Oh.
It's
That's
like
right.
Andrew. It's
Are
like
you
Andrew
saying right
Luck
now all
having
the
a great.
defensive players
It's like
are in the NFL?
It's like
Are you
Andrew Luck
saying
having
right
a
now
great
today?
year or having a great game because all the real defensive players are in the SEC.
Are you saying that all the defensive players are in the NFL right now?
All the what?
Are all the defensive players in the NFL right now?
All the good ones.
All the good ones.
All the good ones are in the NFL right now. Are you saying that?
UFL.
Are you saying all the good
They're not
defensive
playing.
players in the NFL?
What I'm saying is that if you're a good NFL player, then you're in the NFL. That's what I'm saying.
So my question is, if you are a good NFL player, you'd be
Correct.
playing defense in the NFL.
I
If you're a good defensive player, you'll be in the NFL.
I know exactly where you're going, but yes. But you also have to have somebody that believes you're a good player too. So if you don't have that, then hey,
So besides your wife, right?
So there's somebody. Let's talk about this one. Let's talk about, because Cameron Wake, I think we could say he's a pretty good pass rusher.
Right.
And he wasn't in the NFL for a while.
So what are you saying?
I'm just saying that sometimes owners make mistakes, you know? That's all I'm saying.
Some people get through, they come in as a free agent.
That's all I'm saying. That's right.
And end up, a 10-time Pro Bowl.
Babin Jason Babin at the Philadelphia Eagles.
yeah.
He was out of work up until the 10th week of the season. He goes and gets a job at the Titans, has a 10-sack year the next year, gets a huge deal for Philly. Just because you're out of the NFL doesn't mean you can't play. But you're not going to play in the CFL if you're a good player. I'm not
CFL,
doing
the Marion Barber League?
it. I tell you what, I'm not going to the CFL. All right, I'm not going. I'm sorry. Not doing it. They ain't paying me enough. I'm not going over there.
There was a shot at the end of the last game where Caleb Haney was sitting on the bench talking with Marion Barber.
And patting him on the thigh.
And I'm thinking, was Caleb Haney actually trying to encourage Marion Barber, or were they trying to discuss which Canadian team they'd be on next season?
So we're in the same boat, George. I think we better get it together.
If they get rid of you, they probably gonna get rid of me next. So
Really?
we need to stay tight here.
Yeah. Right. My question, that brought something into my head about Caleb Haney. In 1985, Jim McMahon went down. Mm-hmm. Steve Fuller came in.
Or Mike Tomczak.
Well, I forgot about Mike. Mike was actually the guy I wore my jersey number in high school after.
He wore your jersey number.
Yeah, he did. Number 18. Mike Tomczak went to he's in Chicago.
No, he wore your jersey number.
Are you trying to say I'm that old?
You didn't
I'm
wear.
that old?
You didn't wear his jersey number. He wore your jersey number.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
You're saying
he wore your jersey number.
Yeah, he wore mine. It's the number 18 because Mike Tomczak was a South Suburbs guy. He went to Thornton Fractional. My question is how did it? It seems like this team has completely fallen apart with the change of quarterbacks. We didn't fall apart in '85. Why?
What?
They had better players.
No, I gotta ask.
They had better players.
They had better.
They had Walter Payton.
team.
Yes.
They had Walter
kidding
Payton.
me?
Yes. No, I want to ask what the transition is when your quarterback
y'all
goes
had
down.
like,
Well,
Out of
let
respect,
me
I wouldn't
just
even
say
answer
this.
that.
Hold on, give me the answer.
Are you kidding me?
Wait, I'm going to ask a good NFL player.
Jim
he's not the NFL.
yeah, I'm a has-been now.
Oh, he retired. He didn't get cut.
Yeah, but whether you got Jim, whether you have Steve Fuller, whether you have Tom Zach, they all rotated very well. And when
Right.
one got hurt, the other came in.
Exactly.
But I love and respect, because I played 7 years with Walter. He's gold. But we didn't need them. We had a defense. Every game we came out there and told them, give them the football. We want them to taste what it's going to be like all day. And believe me, nobody came across the 50-yard line against us. So our offense always had good field position. So you could put a blind man
Short
out
fields.
there, and it would have paid off. So that's not a fair question to give them. So
I'm so glad to hear somebody that played on that team say that, because I've been thinking that and saying that to people just real quietly though.
and they probably
To a lot of people, because honestly, you got Gentry, you have Willie Gaul, you have Walter Payton, you have the
Dennis
best
McKinney.
defense
The
in the
offensive line.
Don't
world.
forget about Kenny Marjoram.
Kenny
Hold on.
Marjoram. Yeah.
Don't forget about the
You know
offensive
what?
line that you guys
You
had.
can put anybody
exactly.
back
Jimbo
there at
Coker.
quarterback.
Jay Hilgenberg,
Yeah.
Tom Thayer,
You can put
Could I-
anybody at
Mark Boyd,
quarterback.
Keith Van Horn.
Could I have played quarterback?
No.
No.
Probably not. Okay, not anybody then. We'll take that back. You can put 99.9992% of the people back there.
So only those people who cannot beat you at an obstacle course race.
Hold on, this is not the obstacle course. And you didn't beat me. What are you talking about? Oh my God. If we run the 40 3 times and
I beat you
I
once.
have the fastest time of the 3 that we ran, I won.
I had two of the top 3.
What?
But it took you like a third try for you to beat me. Just want to point that out.
Doesn't
But that
matter.
means-
I still won. I won. Stop it. Yeah.
Did your times ever beat his times?
My time beat his time initially, yes.
Hold on.
How many
Initially-
times?
What, initially?
We both ran it one time, and my time beat his, so he ran it more to beat mine.
Otis, I'm sorry. What was your fastest time? Did it beat my fastest time?
No,
That's
it
all.
did not.
Thank you. That's all we need to know.
But it took you
Otis,
3
That's
attempts.
it. There we go.
Ask them
There
who
we
had
go.
the fastest time out of all 3 of us.
Des.
Okay, we're going to go to break.
Okay, that tells me all of it.
Yes. And I was in full gear.
Oh, here he go. Here he go.
I was in full gear as a former football player.
Did I say that you were in cleats and I was in tennis shoes? Did I mention that?
Okay. And
No.
We're talking about the Seattle game.
There
now.
we go. Okay. There we go. But seriously,
Back to the show.
Do you think, really? I saw this guy run on Sunday. Seattle dog is going to come in here and run the ball.
Well, no. You seen this guy last year make one of the best runs of all
Really?
time.
Are you really going to do
Marshawn
that?
Lynch.
Yeah, really? Really?
You missed him twice.
Of all time?
You missed him twice.
He was running pretty hard that day, though.
Like I said, the
He
best
was- you
NFL,
remember
best
that run
defensive
that he
players
made
are in
last
the
year?
NFL.
You know what?
All I'm gonna say is they beat him twice last year, right?
No.
You mean that Seattle?
Yeah.
He made a great run against us.
I mean, you know you're not gonna get him every time. I mean,
No, but you don't miss a guy on the same play 2 times.
No,
Okay,
it is
yeah, I
possible.
understand.
It's possible, Desmond. It is
did
possible. It is possible, Desmond. It is.
So
That was pretty bad.
You remember a couple weeks ago the Seattle game was in here? I seen him make a run, and I didn't want to call you out then, but I had
It's
to
a
do
highlight. I have to deal with it every day.
it. The rest of your
the
life,
rest of my life, I have to deal with it.
So,
but
so
you know,
Alex
it's
Brown
okay.
misses a tackle against Seattle. Oddly enough, Seattle's coming to town.
missed 2 tackles
Oh, excuse me.
on the
Same
same
guy,
play.
But you
on
know
the
what?
same
That's
play.
okay.
Understood, but
That's okay, because when I'm 75 years old, 76 years old, I'm sitting in my rocking chair.
So next
and
year.
And I got my grandchildren right there. I'm gonna look at that play and I'm gonna be like, hey, you know, that's me right there. That's me right there. That's me. I missed that one. Yeah, that was me. But that was me though.
I
You know,
can't
that
make
was
fun
me.
of him missing
I was
2
on
tackles.
TV. You know?
I can't make fun of him missing 2 tackles on the same play because I've never been in the show.
No, you haven't.
I couldn't
You're
even be a kicker.
No, you know what? You're right. That's probably one of the smartest and best things and the most correct things that you said on the show.
All I can say is, Peyton Manning, talking about an idiot kicker. I didn't even have the pleasure of being an idiot kicker.
And he's a drunken kicker.
So I couldn't even be an idiot kicker. So
But getting back to Marshawn Lynch, this guy has 9 straight 100-yard rushing.
and a TD in 9 straight games.
He's going to come in here, and they're going to try to run the ball right down the gut of our Chicago Bears.
And we have been giving up rushing yardage lately.
Exactly.
So how do you see this game going? Honestly, I pick Seattle to win this game. I just don't see the Bears scoring any points.
That's why I
Well,
picked them.
that's I watched the Monday Night Football game, and Seattle impressed me. Although they played against the Rams, but they were very impressive. I mean, this kid is running the football very well. The defense is aggressive. If you were a betting man, you have to say, that with us not having an offense and not scoring points in the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks, whatever you want to call it, you have to say Seattle. But I go back to saying you can be beat on any given day, and when your back is to the wall and you cannot lose a football game, that's going to make for some good football this weekend. So one of them, somebody's going to lose. It's whoever comes down, don't run out of bounds in the last 2 minutes.
Don't run out of bounds in the last 2 minutes.
But we have scored 13 points in the last 2 weeks. 13 points in 8 quarters of football.
Do you see the Bears having a chance to win this game?
It's always a chance.
I mean,
There's always a chance.
But tell me,
The only way that we can win this game is if Devin Hester actually returns more than 2 of the 8 kicks.
You're really finna attack Devin Hester here?
I'm not going to attack him. I'm just saying, stats show there were 8 punts. He returned 2 of them. The other 6 either went out of bounds or he waived fair catch.
Okay.
And the defense have to score.
Don't waive fair catch when you got a gunner breathing down your neck. Don't waive it.
I'm not saying that there are times. I'm just saying that ever since he got that injury, he's been a little more tentative than normal.
That's human nature.
And that's what I'm saying. If we get Devin Hester to start, look at the time the Bears actually scored the touchdown. Devin Hester gave us a 6-yard return. When Devin Hester gives us a return, everybody kind of falls in place. That's how we're going to beat Seattle, is if Devin Hester brings us in this game.
It's all about field position.
Defense and special teams will be the way that we win if we win.
Period. That's for the rest of the year. I said that when Hester. When Forte went down. Oh, that's the formula right there. You got to win with great defense,
and
they don't have it.
And we have the master of defense.
We do have the master.
We have the master defense. Big O.
We had him here for a whole hour. We're gonna go on break. Everybody, give it up for Otis Wilson coming in the house with us tonight on the Des Clark Show.
For those of you listening, Otis Wilson, follow him on Twitter at Otis Wilson _55, Otis Wilson _55 on Twitter, and find out about his charity that he does. The Otis Wilson Charitable Association.org.
And before we go to break, do you want to talk a little bit about what you do in the community with your charitable organization?
No doubt about it. I love talking about what I do because I think it's important that we give back to the community and work with our young people. And the Otis Wilson Charitable Association is a non-for-profit 501c3 after-school program and 6-week summer program. And we use the Park District facility as our sites. And we go from 3 to 6, 5 days a week. Kids age range from 6 through 15. We have a literacy program. We have a cooking class. We have a nutrition program. We have a sports program, martial arts program. We have a golf program. And we just really bring everything to the table to equip our young people, get them to understand, number one, fit for life, and education second. And I'm proud of my team that we put together, and I'm looking to expand and go out into the communities and really help these kids all throughout Chicago. And we've been doing it. I established the foundation in 1990. I've been with the Park District the last 5 years and been in the Chicago public school system for 8 years. And we work with CPS kids, and it's just very fulfilling for me right now.
Thank you so much, Otis. Big
Thanks,
hand
Otis.
applause for
Give it up one more time for Otis Wilson, everybody.
Thank you guys.
All right, we appreciate it.
Thank you guys.
All right, we got
Thank
another
you.
trivia question coming in from...
You got to know what this trivia question is, and there's only one person. There's 2 people in this room that are excluded from answering this question. Here's the question. In a career ranging from 1980 through 1989, playing for 2 teams, the Chicago Bears and the Los Angeles at the time, right? Los Angeles Raiders. How many career sacks did Mr. Otis Wilson, number 55, rack up? How many career sacks did Otis Wilson rack up in his wonderful decade-long career? Anybody got an answer? Career sacks for the Otis Wilson. He's Mama's boy, Otis. He's one of a kind. Raise your hand.
52.
52? No, unfortunately, it's a little high. A little high. Over here to my left. 35 is so close, but not right. 89? Yeah, no, it's not Dicka's number. Sorry.
52 was too high.
52 is too high, and you say 89. We're gonna.
Got 23.
It is not 32. Please raise your hand and dish don't shout out. We're gonna.
21.
Right here.
No, the guy.
21 is not the right answer.
21, not right.
I heard it. I heard the answer.
30, yes.
I heard 30. Who yelled 36?
Really?
36 career high.
Really?
I really should give this to somebody else though.
Yes.
I really should give it to the table that you're sitting at. Yeah,
I think they Googled
it?
They Googled
Did
it.
you Google that?
I Googled it too, so I can't really say anything.
You didn't?
Otis Wilson
Why-
sacked the
why are you-
quarterback 36 times. That's an amazing record. That's about 4 a year average. Congratulations. Once again, big round of applause for the big O, Otis Wilson.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the Dez Clark and Alex Brown Show. Like I said, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're right back here with us, and we appreciate that. Let's have some talk about the NBA,
Hoops
the
action.
Chicago Bulls, and most importantly, we can't go without talking about the non-trade, finally a trade.
Yes.
Same city.
Same city, Chris Paul. What?
CP3.
He can't be worth that much.
They gave away a lot
Oh
of
my
players,
gosh.
and they gave away good players. Chris Kaman,
Yes.
who is an all-star.
Gordon.
Eric Gordon, who's gonna be an all-star,
my
averaged
gosh.
22.3 points a game.
Yeah, you don't
and,
get rid of him.
And who was the third player in that deal?
Ford.
It was. He has a different name.
Ford was.
It's
Al Sharoof something. It's a Middle Eastern.
no
name.
players
He's from,
and a
he's from
first-round
Wake
draft
Forest. Amino.
Amino. That's
Yeah,
him.
he's
Yes.
from Wake Forest.
And
He's a lottery pick.
a 2012 first rounder that's going to
Yes.
come from the Timberwolves.
That's
the
too
Minnesota
much.
team.
And you give up that for a Kobe Bryant.
But
what did they give up?
They're saying that he's the
Not
best
for-
point guard in the league.
He's not even that.
Who's the best point guard in the league?
He played for the Nets.
Darren Williams. You can argue that. You can
Darren
argue
Williams
that.
is the
Darren
best
Williams,
point guard in the league.
I mean,
In the league.
you have an
No
argument.
question. He is.
Ooh, you have an
I'm
argument
taking
with
him
me.
first pick of the. I'm taking if I'm.
First,
if I-
hold on.
That's a
Hold on,
tough one because
if I need a point guard,
Okay.
and there's
Let's
a
clarify.
draft with only point guards in it, then I'm taking Darren Williams. That's it. Nobody else. There's no way. Can't do it.
You get an argument there. I mean,
I got to go with
think
Steve
it's-
Nash. Even though Darren Williams
Steve
is
Nash
God.
is too old right.
I'm
We're
not
talking about
taking
he's too
him.
old right now.
Man.
he's too old, but you're talking about in the league right
You're
now.
taking
Yeah.
Who else would you
right
take?
now?
Okay, who do you got?
Out of all the point guards in the league right now, if you're starting the team, you're gonna take Steve Nash. I can't
Right here.
argue with D Rose. I can't argue with
I
that.
can't argue with D Rose now. I cannot argue with that.
He's the best player in the league,
He's
so
something else,
he was
man.
voted.
He was voted the best player in the league. Yes.
This is what is bothering me a little bit because people are saying now are the Clippers better than the Lakers or better than
Oh,
all
please.
those tough Western Conference teams. Right now with the squad that they have, which it's a pretty good squad out there, what would you rank this Clippers team amongst the NBA's best?
Didn't they also
in the
get
West?
Chauncey
They're probably.
Billups?
I think
Chauncey
they're a
Billups
playoff
is
team
out
now.
there.
I think they're a playoff team,
Oh, without a doubt, they were almost
But-
there last year.
but I don't put them in the class with the Lakers or
But the Lakers,
with
you know,
Oklahoma. I the Oklahoma is the
I don't
scariest
know.
team out there.
I don't think Oklahoma.
I'll definitely put them in the conversation with Oklahoma.
I think
I
they're
don't.
better than
No,
Oklahoma
I don't.
right now because don't forget they also got Caron Butler.
No, no.
They got Dunk Machine.
Yes, Blake Griffin.
They got CP3.
They have two
CP3
players.
almost led the Hornets.
They have
with
two players.
Tyson Chandler.
Caron Butler's.
He's
Caron
okay,
Butler.
okay. For the
Often
definition,
injured
for the
Caron Butler,
definition
with
of
that
a
being said.
player, yeah, he is a player, but he's not on the level of Blake and CP3.
No, I mean,
No,
how
you
many
have
players?
two
How many
All-Stars
players?
on
How
your
many
team.
players got
Chauncey.
3 players like
They
that?
have 2 All-Stars on their team,
Oh,
and then they have a
That's
roster.
better than Chicago. They only have one.
I don't think you think they're a better team than Chicago.
I'm just saying.
And they only have one.
No, I'm saying
You're right.
they only got one.
Do you think they're a better team than Chicago?
I'm
They only
just-
have Chicago only has one.
I didn't say that.
Thank you.
With the All Stars,
They're
they
not.
have better personnel in the front half of their team.
I don't think they compete. I think they'll get destroyed by Oklahoma if they play them.
All right, but
I do. Oklahoma has legit.
what do you think about the ramifications of, yes, the Hornets are owned by the league. They had a trade all lined up with the Lakers to send, I believe, Pau Gasol and Lamar Odom to the Hornets. Now Lamar Odom's in Dallas after being,
I agree. I agree with what the David Stern did, because you're getting Gasol.
Obviously, they got a much better trade.
And you're getting Odom. You're getting two guys that's at the end of their careers or heading to the end of their careers. What they just got now, they got young.
Oh, Eric Gordon, I think, is going to be the star of that group.
Yeah, and he's young. He's been in the league, 3 years, 4 years now?
3. Yep.
3.
So, and he's like 24.
Very young.
Yep. Then you got Kaman, who's been in the league 7 years. So, and then you got Al Farouk Amino.
But who do you build your team around on this team?
On the Hornets?
Yeah.
I mean, they lost David West also, so they had to get something.
Who do you build your team around? You build your team, around the draft pick they got from Minnesota.
You're going to have to. Yeah, you're going to have
to.
Eric Gordon could turn out to be that guy.
But as a business decision,
I think it's the best business decision they made.
If I'm a potential investor that needs to buy a team, and right now the NBA needs a buyer for that team, who would you rather have on that team to make an investment in? Would you rather have Pau Gasol, Lamar Odom, and who? And then, or what they just got in this trade? If you're looking at it as a potential investment, if you're going to buy a stock, would you rather buy a stock with those the Laker trade or the Clipper trade?
I want the Laker trade.
I want the Clipper trade. Because you take those.
What are you doing? A rehab and flip?
If I'm gonna go to the city of New Orleans and say, this is the reason why you should support our team, this is why you should come out and buy season tickets, which they did. 10,000 of the fans went out and bought season tickets trying to show support of this team. Yeah, I want Pau Gasol. Somebody's won a championship. I want Lamar Odom. Somebody's won a championship. That's coming into this place saying, we know how to do this. We know how to win. As opposed to bringing in guys that they've never won a championship. You have no idea how Gordon's going to respond if and when they get to the playoffs.
You have no idea how these guys are going to respond. I mean, Kobe Bryant was the man on that team.
Come on.
Kobe Bryant is the one that
would not have won, and he showed that without Pau Gasol.
This is my point. Kobe Bryant is the one that pushed those guys to the edge to win those world championships.
Correct.
You don't know how Pau Gasol, before Lamar Odom got to the LA Lakers, he was a disappointing player. Everybody said that he couldn't reach his potential. You don't know how he's going to react either.
Well, they've said that about a lot of it. They said it about Jim Plunkett before he went to the Raiders and he won a Super Bowl. So they say it about a lot of different players.
And that's what I'm saying. So you can't sit back and say you don't know how Eric Gordon is going to react.
You can't say that, but do you want to build your team around Eric Gordon? I want to
build my team around the 3 young players.
I'd rather build my team around Odom and a Pau Gasol than a potential draft pick and a Eric Gordon.
You got Chris Kaman there also.
Chris Kaman.
I don't think you got you a lottery pick just from last year.
Well, I mean, do you think that the Hornets are going to be? I mean, they're obviously going to be a little less.
Will they be competitive? No.
Yeah, but think about it. They're going to get the Minnesota Timberwolves draft pick, and can you name me a Timberwolf? That's what I thought. So they're going to have a good draft pick.
Yes.
Jose Barea.
No, you got
J.J. Barea.
You got Mr. Love.
Boy from Puerto Rico.
That's right.
That's right. J.J. Barea.
Right.
Former Dallas Maverick, J.J. Barea. But now,
Jose
Kevin Love, the double-double machine.
Yes, he is a double-double.
A double-double doesn't get you, W's. You're just going to see a double-double.
That's true.
Right.
Well, a double-double.
It helps.
It helps. It helps, except for double
that
U.
team.
I guess it's something that the Bulls wish they had out of Boozer.
Well, maybe Boozer was doing too much of his namesake last year.
Boozing?
Exactly.
Talking about this, since we got on the Chicago Bulls, they did get Rip Hamilton.
They did.
Is he the answer?
At the 2 guard.
Because that was the position that everybody was saying they had to upgrade. Is this an upgrade? Scoring-wise, it's an upgrade. He still can score the ball.
Yeah, well, okay, but what's not an upgrade to Bogan's 3 points per game? Come on, it's an upgrade, but I think he can play defense. He's been on a team in the Detroit Pistons where they played great defense for a long time. He knows how to play defense. Yes, an upgrade, but I think they could have done better. I mean, I don't know.
Who? At the $5 million exception only.
You
Okay,
know,
they could have
Crawford
done
just
that.
signed
You're right.
for the
He just signed.
same exact money.
Yep.
But we're talking about Crawford, who kind of had a bug up his butt about how he was treated in Chicago previously.
But how many points would you get from him? Derrick Rose
But
could
he's not
actually
gonna play
have an off
defense.
night.
He's not going to play
That's
defense,
okay.
and whether
Everybody
or
else
not he
can play
passes the
defense.
ball once he gets it in his hands is
No.
another story.
If he came here, he understands. There's nobody that's going to come to Chicago, to the Chicago Bulls, and say, you know what? I probably can share this team with somebody. No. This is Derrick Rose's
Without
team.
a doubt. It's
We know
D-Rose.
that. So if he came here, he'd give you – Derrick Rose could actually have an off night, and they still win. If Derrick Rose have an off night now, they're going to lose.
I mean,
So you don't think Rip Hamilton could fill
I think
that
he can
void
help. I
and
think
put
he can help.
put in 20 points when Derrick Rose having
I don't think he
night?
can have an off night. I think he can have an average night, and then having Rip Hamilton, they can still win. But I don't think D Rose can actually have an off night where he is 2 for 16.
8 points and 5
I think
assists.
he'll get to the free throw line 12 points.
Yeah.
I think he has to score more than 12 points each game for them to win. And I'm gonna keep track of that. 12 points, or they lose. If Derrick Rose doesn't score 12 points, they will lose.
well, I think that was the case regardless if they had Rip Hamilton or not.
I think if they had Crawford, they could actually overcome that.
I think so. I think it's big words.
Because he's a scorer. He can score 25
Well,
points.
at 30, well, you know,
I don't think Rip
Hamilton
Hamilton can.
turns 34 in the middle of the season this year. Actually, I believe his birthday happens to be Valentine's Day.
And listen, 34 is not old. I'm 34.
And it's not old,
okay.
but it's getting there. It's headed that way.
The only thing I worry about, and it's amazing that he's had such a long career. I mean, the guy is 6'7" and weighs like $185.
150 pounds soaking wet.
Wet.
Yes.
He is thin.
I think that he's a good pickup.
But I love the way
No,
he
I do.
moves
I think
without
he's a
the
good
ball.
pickup. I do.
I think that what's going to happen is his presence out there and the way that Rip Hamilton moves without the ball is
Will
going to
help
force
out.
that number 2 defender to stay away, so it'll be harder for them to double up D Rose, and when they do, you're going to see more out of Noah and Boozer and maybe even Dang out of the corner.
And you know what? If we was all basketball players, everybody would be trying to double team us because we those type of players.
definitely double team
And think
me.
about this: they would double team you.
They would definitely double
you know
team
what?
me.
We
Oh,
got
here we go again.
We got
Yes.
we got a picture of you that we need to get online. But
Oh, we do.
What picture?
We'll talk about that after we come back from the break. And then when we come back, we're gonna have Mr. Chris Cook on talking some NHL,
We're
talking
gonna
some Blackhawks.
We're going to take a short break. We got to pay the bills a little bit.
Don't go
Folks that are
anywhere.
online, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. We're going to talk about our first place team in Chicago, the Chicago Blackhawks.
Seriously. What do you mean is that? Yeah, that's me. That's about 15 years old right there. I was
That is
ready.
Alex Brown.
Yes. Oh, I was ready to go. That's when I realized I was a beast.
You got it up? You got it up? Wait, he's zooming in right now, so keep watching.
I honestly don't know why the hell I did that.
Oh, here it comes.
How
For all
did
of
you
you watching, we
find
got a
that?
great photo of Alex Brown up here. What are you talking about? It's on your
You
Facebook
can't even
page.
see it.
It's on your Facebook page.
That's right.
Well, I am.
That is Alex Brown in his prime. That is prime.
I hope Karama's watching right now, because that is her hunk of love.
Hey, you can't.
That
hey,
is her hunk of love.
Not many bodies are shaped like that, you know? You know what I mean? It goes like this. Look at
We're gonna put that. Yeah, I see that. We're gonna have to take that photo and put it on the DezClarkShow.com website.
That's awesome.
Actually, if you follow us on Facebook, Facebook.com/DezClarkShow, Facebook.com/DezClarkShow, that photo will be up there before the end of the night.
None.
That photo will be on Des Clark fan page. And now we're back with the Des Clark and Alex Brown show live from the Tilted Kilt, 447 North Milwaukee Avenue in beautiful, luxurious Vernon Hills, Illinois. Coming out, try some garlic fries as I see Des is enjoying them.
They're pretty good too.
For those of you who don't know, we put an awesome photo up on our fan page on Facebook. Go to Facebook.com/Des Clark Show, and you'll see that photo. It's gorgeous. It's wonderful. It's beautimous. 0% body fat, he says.
Alex Brown.
0%
The
body
Alex
fat,
Brown in his prime. Check it out. We were just
Hey, for
talking
real,
the
check it
Bears.
out. Check it out.
We were just talking about the Bulls, the Bears, everything like that. There is actually a team that is in first place right here in the Windy City.
In the Windy City?
Right here in the Windy City. I'm sorry.
Outcast.
I heard Northwestern Wildcats, I believe. It
Outcast.
is not the Wildcats in the Big Ten. It
I'm
is
not gonna
indeed
talk
the
about it.
National Hockey
I got
League.
punched.
We're going to be talking
And last night we had an exciting game in Minnesota. Minnesota Wild is the top team in the Western Conference in the NHL. The number 2 team in the Western Conference is our very own Chicago Blackhawks. Right now on the phone with us, we have the Blackhawk hockey reporter for the Chicago Tribune, Chris Cook. Chris Cook, welcome to the Des Clark and Alex Brown Show. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Sounds good. How you guys doing?
Great, Chris.
Doing
Doing
pretty
great,
good,
Chris.
How was the trip to Minnesota last night, Chris?
I'm sorry?
Said, how was your trip from Minnesota last night?
It was fine. Minnesota's, as you would expect right around now. It's very cold, but Blackhawks came out with a win, so it made the trip worth it, I guess.
Want to talk a little bit about last night's game. What was your take? We scored 2 quick goals in the first part of the second period, but then we gave them right back. The second one was kind of questionable. It looked like a phantom icing, non-icing call. What was the reaction in the arena?
Yeah, I think everyone knew that there was a missed call by the linesman, and the linesman actually went to Joe Quenneville after the game and said, hey, my bad. But the Blackhawks do need to play to the whistle, and even though you're expecting an icing call, you really need to play until the puck is picked up. So kind of some faults on both sides, but they did miss it, admitted to it, and you play on.
How you doing, Chris? This is Desmond Clark. Obviously, I don't have a background in hockey, but you said that they went over to the official. I just have this question. Is it a process like the NFL where the coaches turn in a play and the officials review it, and then they come back and say, we blew the call or anything like that? How's that process kind of taken for the officials?
Well, I mean, the fact that they came to Coach Joe Quenneville and said, hey, we missed it, I think that kind of helps things. If they just finally say, no, we didn't call the icing, and you have to deal with it. It happens. Officials are human. They make the wrong call. You really can't go back and do a do-over. So they did what they could. They told the Blackhawks we're sorry, we'll do better, and you get to play on. Hockey's a game of bounces, and that was a bad bounce for the Blackhawks, but they were able to overcome.
Right. And last night's game was decided by an excellent, exciting shootout. That was one of the greatest shootout goals I've seen in my lifetime, Patrick Kane. The only concern I have is, growing up, I played a little hockey, and the puck needs to consistently move forward. It almost seemed like Patrick Kane brought it to a complete stop. Was there any argument from the Minnesota Wild on that shot?
No, there wasn't, and every goal was reviewed by Toronto, so you get keep going forward, and that's the key. Blackhawks were running a play like that last year, where it appeared that the player kind of stopped and went backwards a little bit, but Patrick Kane's skates were always moving forward, the puck was always moving, so as long as he's moving forward, doesn't matter how fast, he was moving forward, so it was a good goal.
All right. And in net, Ray Emery had another great game for the Blackhawks. Corey Crawford's still on the bench, and from what I understand, we're going to be putting Ray Emery back in net tomorrow night as well as the Hawks come back home. Have you had a chance to talk to Corey Crawford recently?
Yeah, I had talked to Corey, and he's keeping his head in there. He's a guy who's still a young kid, but he's very level-headed, and he doesn't let things like sitting at the bench get him down too much. He just makes him work a little harder. So, yeah, he wants to play. Everybody wants to play, but he realizes Ray Emery has the net right now. And, if the future of this Blackhawks team, if they're going to go deep in the postseason, it's going to be behind Corey Crawford. So he's working on his team. He's working with Stefan Wick, the goaltender coach, kind of iron out some things. And once he gets back and gets a chance to play, I think he'll really choose the opportunity. But right now, Ray Emery playing very well, so Joe Quenneville's riding the hot hand.
Chris, this is Desmond once again. 2 years ago, I came to one of the most exciting hockey games that I've ever seen in my life. It was a game that the Chicago Blackhawks went down 5 goals in the second period and came back and won the game 6-5 in overtime. That was actually my first game going to, and that's when I became a hockey fan. So as a novice hockey fan, what are the different strategies and what are the main statistics that I need to pay attention to, and somebody that's like me, that's a baby hockey fan, need to pay attention to so we can understand the game a little better?
Well, I tell you, it picked a great game to be your first game. It was a 6-5 victory over the Calgary Flames, and Brent Seabrook scored in overtime to bring the Blackhawks all the way back from the dead. So no wonder you got hooked on that one. My advice to you as a fledgling hockey fan is kind of watch the stars. Watch Jonathan Toews, number 19, for the Blackhawks. He does so well. He's not just a scorer, but he plays both ends of the ice very well, which means he plays defense very well. He's very good in the face-off circle. Watch the corners. Watch how guys go into the corners, battle for pucks, and who comes out with it. I mean, another guy to watch, obviously, is Patrick Kane. You saw what he did last night. Look at his vision. Watch the plays develop. And if you're going to go to a hockey game, it's nice to be down close and see the players. But if you really want to watch players develop, sit upstairs sometimes, sit in the 300 level, and watch the breakouts, watch the 3-on-2s, and kind of get a feel for the game. But as I said, you picked the right game, and they're not all that exciting. But I'm not surprised you got hooked on that.
Right, Chris. We have Ray Emery in net. Is there any concern about his past injuries? I believe he had a vascular necrosis. And is there any kind of concern that that's going to crop up, how his durability will last? We did bring him in to training camp on a tryout basis only. He made the team. Is there any concern from Quenneville or either Stan Bowman on that?
No, I mean, obviously it was a very serious leg injury, and as he said, he's one of the only NHL players, professional sports athletes at all, who have had that injury and come back and played. Looked for sure like he wasn't going to play anymore, but he went through some very intense rehab, and he still works on it. But I did talk to him, I think it was just before the game, and he said that he feels good. And at this point, last year he wasn't playing, and then even at the end of the season when he was playing for the Ducks, he was very sore, and he really couldn't move around a lot after games. But he's not like that right now, so he's doing everything to take care of it. And it's always going to be a concern. He's never going to be as young as he was, but right now he's very healthy, and he's a very happy guy.
Yeah, I mean, vascular necrosis is like a degenerative hip issue, which is a huge blow for NHL goaltender. So, with that being said, this kind of brings me back to 2010 when Cristobal Huet was penciled in as the starter for the season, and Antti Niemi kind of just put him on the bench and never got off. And kind of hope history repeats itself. Is there any kind of that vibe you hear anybody talking about? Maybe a repeat of 2010 with the goalie situation?
Hasn't come up yet. You asked Phil Quenneville if there's a goaltending controversy or what's going on. He says, no, this is standard operating procedure. Every team throughout the season, their backup steps up and plays 2, 3, 4, 5 games in a row. It just so happens that Ray Emery has really seized the opportunity. He's playing quite well. You don't want to take him out. I don't think this is the case where Ray Emery is going to be your number one goaltender down the line. I think it's a great situation for the Blackhawks to have. You want two goaltenders because you have back-to-back games. You play a ton of games. 82 hockey games. It's a long grind. So you want two goaltenders you're confident with when you put in there. Right now, it's Ray Emery's turn. I do believe Corey Crawford will get in there soon, and I think when he gets in there, he's going to stay in there for a while, and Ray Emery will go back and get some spot starts. So, as I mentioned, very good problem for the Hawks to have.
Hey, Chris, Alex Brown here.
Hey, Alex.
Hey, how you doing? I'm not finna sit up here and act like I have any idea about hockey at all. So, but I'm a Chicago fan, so I really hope you guys do well this year, and I wish you guys the best of luck. But
he's not a player; he's a reporter.
I know, but I have no idea about hockey.
Okay.
So, but I want to wish the Blackhawks luck, and I thank you for coming on with us, and I really appreciate it. That was me.
Well, we're not quite
done. That's I can do right
there.
there.
That's his 2 cents. We're not quite done, Chris.
Yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Chris, looking forward as we're making the run, I mean, a lot of people are saying this is one of the better Hawks teams assembled, and they haven't even reached their full potential. They're in first place in their division. They got a couple points in hand on Detroit coming into tonight. They're the second, team in second place in the Western Conference, right behind the Minnesota Wild, who we just beat. But are there any changes? I know that Stan Bowman had to kind of do a purge and got rid of some fan favorites, but now I believe we have some cap room to play with. What additions are we looking to make as the trade line comes up early next year?
Well, first of all, I'm sure Alex didn't see a whole lot of hockey when he was down in Florida, so not really hockey hotbed.
Exactly.
So I understand
Thank
that.
you.
Stan Bowman, you mentioned he's got some cap room. Blackhawks haven't had that recently, so I would expect him to make a move at the March trade deadline if it comes to it. I think he would go after a number 2 center. Patrick Kane playing there earlier this year, now he's back on wing. Had a rookie, Marcus Kruger, playing there as a fill-in, but once the playoffs comes, you're going to want an experienced guy. So it would not surprise me if general manager Stan Bowman went out and got himself a number 2 center, and you can always get strong on defense. Alex knows that, and I think they would keep in mind looking for a veteran defenseman as well.
Any potential ideas you have? If you were in Stan Bowman's shoes, what defenseman would you like to see come in as the Blackhawks back on the blue line?
Well, I mean, a veteran type, a Matt Carl type, maybe. If I was talking, you were going to ask me about center, I would say Shane Doan from Phoenix would be a perfect candidate. Somebody who's been in the league and somebody who's been through the grind of the playoffs. Because, once you get to that, it's a whole different animal. It's a very physical game. It's a very defensive game. So you want guys who have been through the battles before.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of centermen, we have Dave Bolin on the team who's been having a little word war with Vancouver and the Sedin twins. But I kind of backed off the statements just today, I believe. What's your take on that whole situation, Chris?
Well, I think that Dave Bolin was joking around, and I think he was playing to a radio audience, and you guys know what it's like, obviously, to be in front of some people when he's doing a radio, and I think he was just kidding, and he was just trying to kind of stoke the embers of the rivalry, but they don't really mess around up in Vancouver. You mess with your players, and they're going to fire back. So Vancouver Canucks coach Alain Vigneault defended his players and really called out Dave Bolin, saying, you don't do that. I think he took it a little bit too seriously. I think that Dave Bolin was kidding, it was tongue-in-cheek. And Dave Bolin did back off last night after I talked to him in the dressing room after the game, and he said he respects the Canucks and respects the Sedin brothers. I just think it's just one of those bumps in the road where a guy was talking, trying to be funny, and the media kind of got hold of it and really took it to him in Vancouver.
Yeah. Obviously in Vancouver, you got to be careful. They tear apart their own town when they don't win games.
Yeah.
So you definitely got to be careful of that. So.
Chris, last question for us, and we appreciate you coming on today to talk some Hawks with us. Some new rules came down, a couple weeks ago about the realignment. You're going to have 4 divisions in each conference right now. What are your thoughts on this realignment, and what does this mean for the NHL?
I think it's great. I think what it does is it makes every team play a home-and-home game against each other team in the NHL. So every team, every city gets to see stars from around the league, and it's not really the case right now. Not every team comes to Chicago. Blackhawks don't go to every other city. So I think it really lets the fans really see the superstars from each conference, and it also balances it out, and it's really going to be good for rivalries. You're talking about a game last night against Minnesota. That's a team the Hawks haven't really had a rivalry with since the mid-'80s and early '90s. They moved to Dallas, and now they're back in Minnesota. So that's going to be very good for the rivalries. The Blackhawks are going to remain a rivals with the Detroit Red Wings. And then you start to develop some other rivalries once you get to the postseason. You can play the Vancouver Canucks in the finals if it came to that. So I think it's going to be very good for hockey. I think it's a move that we really need to make, and it really cuts down on some travel for the Blackhawks. Instead of going to Vancouver and Calgary and Edmonton twice per season, we'll go there once per season. And it really cuts down on those long road trips, and I think that'll help in the long run.
Yeah, we'll just lose some frequent flyer miles, but hey, maybe I can, snag some of them.
Exactly. That'll hurt, but we'll manage.
Hey, we appreciate you coming on, Chris.
Thanks, Chris. We really appreciate it. This is Alex Brown here. Really appreciate you coming on for us.
Hey, I really appreciate it, and anytime, guys.
All right, it's Chris Cook from the Chicago Tribune. He's a hockey reporter for the Chicago Tribune. That's Chris Cook. Thanks again. We're on the Des Clark and Alex Brown show.
Hey, you only got 15 more minutes to call in, and the number is 773-382-8732 if you want to call in. Alex Brown is over here with his
Tilted Kilt.
Yeah, I got my new T-shirt on.
Come on out.
Can you see it?
Tilted T-shirt. Yeah, you can see it.
Do we want to do another giveaway?
Let's do another giveaway.
Well, let's do another giveaway in the house. All everybody at Tilted Kilt. I'm giving away $25 gift certificate to Tilted Kilt.
Help you pay for that meal.
Maybe you can pay for tonight's meal. Here's a question. 2010, the Blackhawks win the Stanley Cup playoffs. Before that, the last appearance they made in the Stanley Cup was 1992. Led by centerman Jeremy Roenick, and in net we had Eddie the Eagle Belfour. Mike Keenan was behind the bench. We did a really great job getting all the way through the playoffs, but we hit the NHL Finals in 1992, the Stanley Cup Finals, and we were swept. Lost all 4 games to the Pittsburgh Penguins.
That's a long-ass question.
I got people raising their hands already. I haven't even asked the question. Here's the question. With Eddie Belfour in net on the 1992 Blackhawks, who was Eddie Belfour's backup? Dominic Hasek. Right out of the gate. Congratulations.
Man, how easy was that question?
How easy? Did you know it?
No, I don't know.
All right, we had one guy. Dominic Hasek, the Dominator, went on to win Stanley Cups.
Yeah, I'll shake your hand.
He was going to shake your hand. You walked away. You kind of left him hanging there.
No, don't come back.
Most people didn't realize that Dominic Hasek, gold medal winner and Stanley Cup champion, was our backup when we were swept 4 games by the Mario Lemieux and Jaromir Jagr-led Penguins.
Mm-hmm. Dominic Hasek turned out to be one of the best ever.
The Dominator, the best ever, and we kept him on the bench.
And he ended up out there with Colorado, right? Towards the end of his career?
No, I don't believe so. He went to Ottawa. He was in Ottawa for many years. He went to the Detroit Red Wings.
Who had the...
Talking about Patrick Waugh?
Patrick Waugh. That's who I was thinking about with
Patrick
the
Waugh.
Avalanche.
Patrick
Can we
Roy.
get top picks so I can...
Oh, you want to get back in on the conversation?
You want to talk?
I do want to
talk about hockey? You went to the game.
Right now. You're killing me right now.
Yeah, you
I do
go to the game.
I understand the game. I understand it, but I don't want to ask an ignorant question.
Don't. Just
exactly.
Stay there with your mouth closed like you did.
So that's what I was doing. But now I want to talk. So
what do you want to talk about?
Can I get back in? I want to talk about the picks this week.
our picks this week.
That's what I want to talk about.
All right, let's talk about
NFL
Detroit.
picks.
Let's talk about Detroit versus Oakland.
I have to catch up.
You guys caught up to me, by the way.
He's in last place.
He's in last place, but you caught up to me. We're even.
See,
Well,
okay.
You and I are even because you picked the Giants, if I'm right.
Let's
and I
not
picked
play
the
with
Cowboys.
words here. Let's not play with words, okay?
Let's not play a word.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You're
because
in
I just
last place.
I'm in third place.
You in last place.
I'm
He's on
in third place. All right?
Let's just say if you're
Doesn't sound as bad,
if
right?
you're doing a
Doesn't
betting
sound
line-
as bad.
if you're doing a
I'm in
betting
third.
line, Alex is in last place.
Well, what did we? Are we
We're
still
not
here?
on. We're not on.
No, we're dead.
No, we're not.
We're live. Okay.
Can you guys still hear us out there?
Yeah, but the house
No.
just went dead.
Well, don't worry. We'll see.
It's okay. We're gonna do our picks.
Detroit
We're
versus
gonna do
Oakland.
picks here, or our NFL picks. Excuse me. I'm
Detroit
still
versus Oakland. This could
Detroit
be
versus Oakland.
This could turn out to be a street fight. You have Sue coming
in
back.
Oakland.
You have Sue coming
Definitely
back.
gonna be a street fight.
And hey, Seymour got ejected too for a little extracurricular activity.
I think the crowd might want to get in on this one, and take it to the streets for Detroit. Two other probably
In the black hole.
the black hole, and then Detroit is not known for all of its glamorous parts of their city either. But speaking about football, I'm gonna go with Oakland this game.
Wow, really?
Because it's something. It's something about this Oakland team that I like. I don't necessarily like this Detroit team on the road.
You like them when they play Miami?
Detroit?
No, the Oakland Raiders, they got blew out by Miami.
No, I picked Miami. Did I pick Miami?
Now, I don't know if you picked them.
No,
but
I picked
they
Oakland.
They got blew out by a team that's only won 4 games.
Okay, so obviously you're going with Detroit.
I never said that. Now I didn't say that. I did
Who
not
are you
say
picking?
that. I did not say
Put
that.
your money where your mouth is. Last
Okay,
place,
well-
we'll let you go first.
Hold on. Okay, well,
Last place goes first.
No, we need to give him a chance to come back.
Third place goes first. All right, third place
Last
goes
place.
first. So,
Third at 3.
oh man, I like both teams. I think both are very similar. I think Sue coming back will give him a bump. I'm gonna take Detroit.
You're going to take Detroit.
You
What do
gotta
got,
take
Des?
Detroit. I'm taking Oakland. Who are you
I'm
taking?
gonna take Detroit.
I'm going to take the team that doesn't throw interceptions, and Carson Palmer can't seem to
He's
throw
gonna
them.
have a great game.
Dude,
this
he
week.
keeps throwing it to the other team, and I'm going to go with Detroit for this game.
Thank you.
I'm going to go with Detroit. It would have been an easy hands down Detroit if they had signed a defensive end this last week.
There we go.
Okay, so you're gonna take
Absolutely.
Detroit.
And I heard they're going to sign Golston.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take Oakland, and let's take a caller right here.
We got a caller coming
We
in.
got Matt from North Carolina. How you doing, Matt? Is this Matt Straub?
Max.
Matt.
This is Max Straub. How you doing, man?
Welcome
I'm
to
doing
the show,
pretty good.
Max.
What you got for us tonight, Matt?
Yeah. Well, my question is this: if the Bears lose again, and it looks like they're not going to make the playoffs, will they start Jay Cutler this season, or will they let him rest?
No, I think if the smart thing to do is if they lose this game and they're eliminated from the playoffs some kind of way before that last game, you don't play Jay Cutler. Why?
Right.
You're gonna
don't.
endanger the guy for next year and possibly a career to come out and play one game.
No, I keep him
Don't
on the bench.
endanger your future. No.
I let him work with the trainers, and if he's still on, in an injury status, isn't cleared to play, he can work with the trainers far into the offseason by NFL regulations, and that's what I would do.
Right. I think you have to see what you have in Enderley or Ederly or whatever the
Nathan
kid's name
Enderley.
is. You have to see what you have in him, and you have to. That's when you're out of the playoff race. So see what you have in him. Get Caleb Haney out of there because I think we've had enough. I think we know what we have in Caleb. So you need to see what you have in your third string guy, and that's when you're out of the playoff race.
You have a follow-up, Max?
Well, the ultimate answer, though, is to get Des Clark back to the Bears.
Get Des Clark back to the Bears.
Back 88.
Yeah,
let's
that's
start
my
the
campaign,
movement.
man. I'm out there on Twitter posting it.
Let's bring back 88. Let's get the Twitter movement going. I think we got it going because my followers went up from 8,800 to 10,000.
Bring back
Followers were at
88.
8,800.
Yeah, I was at 8,800. Now it's
I think
at
you should go for
10,000.
88,888 followers.
When I get there, you know what? That's going to be a great day.
All right, thanks for your call,
We
Max.
appreciate it, Max.
Thanks, Max.
Thank you.
New England versus Denver.
New England versus Denver.
Will New England get Tebow?
Brady versus Tebow.
I don't think
New
it's
England
Brady
get
versus
Tebow?
Tebow at all.
The
I think it's
god
Tebow
of
versus their
NFL player
defense.
moves.
I think it's
Bill
the best
Belichick.
run. It's the best rushing offense in the league against one of the absolute worst defenses in the league.
32nd ranked defense.
Okay.
The New England Patriots.
Okay, you say the worst defense
They're
in the
playing
league.
two wide receivers as DB.
But let's look at this. Now, you've been a defensive player.
Yes.
What stat are you looking at? Total yards or points given up?
Points given up.
So when you look at their points, they're middle of the league.
True, but when you give up all those yards, if the Denver Broncos can drive the football, let's say they drive the football, they start on their 20, they drive the football all the way down to New England's 10-yard line, and they miss a field goal. Okay, they didn't give up points, but they took off 7 minutes of the clock where Tom Brady was not on the field. I think that has an effect on this game.
So you're picking Denver.
I never said that. I was going to say that. But what I'm saying is that I'm not going to totally dismiss the fact that Denver could win.
Are they going to win?
It's in Denver, by the way. The game is in Mile High. If that has any.
I'm gonna go with New England, but I'm gonna go with New England on a 7.5 points. That's
7.5. Oh, you're a bookie now.
7.5.
Now you're a bookie. You're picking the line.
I got New England winning this game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be decided midway through the fourth quarter, but not a blowout. But I have New England winning this game. I just don't see this Denver team having the firepower to stay with a New England offense.
I believe this game is going to remind me of a couple seasons ago, the Miami Dolphins versus the Indianapolis Colts. The Denver Broncos are going to have like 40 minutes time of possession, but they're going to wind up short on the scoreboard. It's going to be New England, although, because they're going to get on the field. Yeah, Champ Bailey's going to have to move over and take Wes Welker probably in the slot. But that's going to it's going to be tight end. It's going to be Aaron Hernandez. It's going to be Rob Gronkowski nonstop. Gronkowski is a madman. He is sick.
I'm going to regret this. I'm going to regret this.
Oh, here he goes.
I already know it. I'm going to take back what I said.
Oh.
You going with Denver?
He's going to Denver.
I'm going to take back what I said. And what I'm going to go with New England in an absolute blowout.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm going to go with.
Okay.
I'm going to go with New England in an absolute blowout because I think the Tebow bubble will burst this week. It's over. Like you can't keep winning like this. Can you?
No. But he keeps doing it.
But he keeps doing it, yeah.
Jets versus Philly. You got a team.
I'm taking Philly.
You taking Philly? Just
I'm taking Philly.
You taking Philly.
I'm
just taking New York.
I can't stand Mark Sanchez.
I'm just gonna take New York.
I can't stand him.
You're gonna take the Jets.
He's just taking Philly, so I'm just taking New York.
I think Philly gives up the Jets give up way too many rushing yards. They're not the team that they were last year. They're not the defense that they were last year.
Yeah, Michael Vick
they
came
will
back.
not win.
Michael Vick came back, and that offense was completely different for the
completely different. It's a completely different team.
Michael Vick was back as completely. So
okay, so when he was there, they weren't any better than they are now record-wise.
I think they're better, not record-wise, but they're better.
I think the defense and their defensive coordinator, in quotes, former offensive line coach, is getting the hang of calling the defense a little bit more. I am going to go with Philly, even though
you're going with Philly.
Yeah, and the game is in Philadelphia, so I think that helps.
I think y'all in cahoots against me. Y'all, both of you guys have the same picks over there, and I'm that's okay.
We're trying to catch you.
Alex trying to catch up. He knows to ride with the pro.
Trying to catch
He's
up.
riding with the pro right here.
What? I mean, it's not like you're in first place all by yourself.
Right there, okay?
All right, we are a dead tie right now atop the leaderboard. All right,
Baltimore versus San Diego.
This is the Sunday night battle. It's in San Diego. This is
not a game. Baltimore will crush San Diego. Yes.
Baltimore will crush San Diego is what Des says. What do you got, Alex?
I don't think they're going to crush them. I think they'll win. But depending on what Baltimore team shows up, you never know who's gonna show up with Baltimore.
On the road this year?
I honestly think they're playing a hell of a lot better without Ray Lewis. And I think that's crazy.
All their losses have happened on the road.
They're playing so much better without him. Leave him out.
Yeah. All Baltimore's losses have happened on the road this year. They're perfect at home. So they really need to get that home field advantage for the playoffs, something they haven't had.
And that's a long way to fly, San Diego.
It's a long way to fly to San Diego. With that being said, San Diego's offensive line is offensive. They have lost all their Pro Bowl linemen.
They didn't give up any sacks to Mr. Peppers.
They lost some more since then.
I believe it was in the Jacksonville game. They lost
Well,
2 more.
they were out 3. They only had 2 of the 5.
And they're gone. And that's what I'm saying. And with that said, I
picking up people off the
believe they got
streets.
and Suggs are going to pressure the heck out of them. We're talking about a Baltimore Ravens team where they put 9 or 11 sacks on the San Francisco 49ers just a couple weeks ago. I'm going Baltimore, and I'm going Baltimore it's over by halftime.
Hold on.
Blow up.
Wait a minute.
Blowout.
No.
Total blowout.
Okay, I'm going back. Because we're talking about a San Diego
Hold on,
team
are you
with
like-
the same
honestly going
offensive
back?
line.
Are you reading like
my
stuff
mind, Alex
online
Brown.
and then talking about
I'm
readjusting your pick?
I'm changing my pick as we go along this because I did have Baltimore, but what we're talking about, we're talking about a San Diego team that went to the absolute wire with what a lot of people say is the best team in the NFL.
The Green Bay Packers.
Okay,
and that
thank
was
you very
prior
much.
to injury.
That was not prior to injury.
But it was prior to their offensive line woes. Yes, it was. That was the same day that you and I played in a flag football tournament, Des. That's how long ago it was.
I'm going to take
He's changing his mind again.
the Baltimore Ravens.
He's still with the Baltimore Ravens.
I'm going to take the
Last
Baltimore
game,
Ravens.
Last game.
the Monday night finally has a good matchup. I will give that credit to ESPN. Monday night, good matchup.
Great matchup.
Great matchup.
Yes.
You got the Steelers versus the San Francisco
Identical
49ers.
records.
Yes.
Identical, yeah, both
Identical records.
10-3, both 10-3.
It is in San Francisco. San Francisco now is playing for the number 2 seed, basically, in the NFC. The Steelers need to maintain pace in order to try to get home field advantage in the AFC, because at any given week there are 4 teams with the same record in the AFC. Any one of them could be first or last place.
Yeah,
I'll go first on this one, so I don't have to change my mind. I'm actually going to take – I think a lot of people look at this game and they say the San Francisco 49ers, they haven't given up a rushing touchdown. They're unbelievable against the run. Pittsburgh Steelers coming into town, they run the ball. I think Pittsburgh Steelers actually have a different identity now.
Mendenhall has not been the same guy he has been in the past.
And it's the receivers, those young receivers.
Yes,
Wallace,
Wallace.
Antonio
Antonio
Brown.
Brown.
Not my son, Antonio Brown, but like the other Antonio Brown.
Oh, you mean the one you left hanging in the corn maze a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, how do you lose your son in the corn
gosh.
maze?
Oh, my God.
And then
it's a corn
me
maze.
and Ryan still have to adopt your son for 30 minutes.
I'm trying to win.
because-
I'm trying to
So
win.
you
He
were
needs to keep
at all-
up.
At all costs.
Trying
He
to win.
needs to keep up.
Alex,
I'm trying to win.
Alex
okay?
Brown's ability in a corn maze is like his ability to pick
And you
NFL
got
teams.
lost. Your team got
Last
lost.
place.
I'm in third place.
You're in last place.
No,
That's
at the corn maze, your team got lost.
Yeah, we just had the bad time. We didn't have the right time.
So
on.
you had 45 minutes to go in and get out, get his
Yeah,
minutes.
what
10
was
minutes
off.
later, I went in
Hour
and found
and a half
you.
later, we
But
had
I
to
was
come and find
on
you.
Pacific time and like okay. So back
Who's
to
your
our
pick?
pick. Our pick. I'm actually gonna pick Pittsburgh because I think Pittsburgh's identity has changed from over the years. Like you usually think Pittsburgh is a running team. They're not anymore. I think
Passing team.
they pass the ball. And I
Yes,
think
they
Big
do.
Ben will have a huge game. And I think they actually beat San Francisco in San Fran.
I'm going with Pittsburgh also. San Fran 10-3. They're the first team to clinch. I'm still not sold on them. I don't know why. I guess it's like a name brand thing. They're not a name brand winning team, so I'm not sold on the 10-3 record. So until they show me that they could beat a good team, i.e. Baltimore, Pittsburgh, I won't be sold on
Detroit, in Detroit.
Why nobody says Houston? Houston's number one in the
Houston.
AFC, and nobody says Houston.
Name brand.
Name
once
brand.
again,
Houston
name
has
brand.
been-
Houston.
This is the first
Name
year
brand.
Houston has made the playoffs in their history.
And if the season ended today, they
They're
would be the
number one.
number 1 seed.
And that's why I say
and
name
nobody
brand.
even says them.
And it's a
I
name
got
brand.
Pittsburgh. Who do you have?
I'm going the other way from you guys. I'm going to go San Francisco. Big Ben's on a gimpy ankle. James Harrison probably out. That eliminates some pressure. I don't know the Lamar Woodley's injury status off the top of my head right now, but he could be out as well. To me, that just says, give me Frank Gore all day, every day, nonstop. We're going to cram it down your throat. Frank Gore is coming at you. I'm going to go with San Francisco. It's going to be a tight one, but I believe that it's going to be San Francisco because they're going to pound it on the ground.
All these games they've won, Alex Smith hasn't had to win the game.
Right.
He's
I don't think he's
going
gonna
to
have
have to win the
I don't believe
game
so.
coming up
I
soon.
think it's going to be the same type of game that he played in Baltimore where he can't get it done.
he
and
can't get it
Pittsburgh
done.
won.
He's gonna prove again he can't get it done.
And there you have it. The Des
Those are our
Clark,
picks.
Alex Brown show. Those are our picks. Hey, it's a link for if they want to get in and do the picks with us.
Yeah, please get in. Please get in now, so then you'll be behind
Go on
me.
ESPN.com, go to the Pigskin Pick'em. When you create an entry there, you're going to have to find the Des Clark Show, or Des Clark and Alex Brown Show.
Right.
Des Clark and Alex Brown Show. It's a group. And there is a password. That password will be on our Facebook page. Go to facebook.com/Des Clark Show. That'll be up there this evening. Facebook.com/Des Clark Show. As we speak right now, Atlanta goes up 33-0 on Jacksonville.
Oh, so Alex,
Unbelievable.
That kills your whole thing.
No, not really.
No, you said that Jacksonville would make it a close game.
Oh,
You did earlier tonight.
But you did take
That
the
is
under.
true. I
at
did
41
take
and a half.
the under, though.
We're going to do one more giveaway, I believe.
Oh, my God.
Yes, sir.
I'm getting killed on this game.
We got one more giveaway for all those people that came live. We want to thank you. So we're going to do one more giveaway. Everybody in Tilted Kilt, here's $25. You just have to answer this very, very unique trivia question.
What is it?
It has to do with Alex Brown's favorite team, the Chicago Cubs.
Really? Really?
The very, very first game the Cubs ever played. The very, very first game the Chicago Cubs ever played. On the same day, a very historic event took place. Something you learned in the history books when you were in grade school. What is that historic event that took place the same night the Cubs started playing baseball?
Same night.
No, it was not the Great Chicago Fire. I am talking
Anybody?
massive history here. Think about how long the Cubs have been playing and give me. It was not the Columbian Exposition. It was not a World's Fair. Yes, sir, over there. It's not a World's Fair. Sorry. Actually, the World War I was after the Cubs started playing. Remember, the last time the Cubs won a World Series was previous to World War I, 1908.
The Cubs won a World Series was 200 years ago. So let's think about then.
Sorry? It was not Teddy Roosevelt doing anything, no. Well, it kind of was, actually. I believe he was president at the time, but it has something to do with something that happened militarily. It was not San Juan Hill, but it had something to do with militarily
What was it?
in the United States. I'm sorry? We're getting closer with Little Bighorn.
I have no clue.
The Vietnam War was over, is that what you said? Otis Wilson, he puts it in the wrong decade. Thank you, though. We're talking the 1800s here, kids.
The wrong century.
It was not the Alamo.
The century.
Let's just say that this person was a very mighty name in the military, and he wasn't after that day.
General Lee.
It was against the Indians, and I mean, Indian, not Cleveland Indians. It was Custer's last stand. Otis Wilson is the winner.
Really?
Why are you holding your hand up back there?
Did they get it too?
Who said that?
Who got Custer's last stand? That's how long the Cubs have been playing baseball. Their first night was Custer's last
He's a
stand.
Green Bay fan.
We have a tie. We have a tie here.
Oh, we have a tie?
We have a tie. We have that 85 Super Bowl champ, Otis
Otis is
Wilson.
not gonna give it
we
away.
have some guy in the back
Talking
doing
about-
the super. The
He's doing the
champion
sprinkler
Aaron
back there.
Rodgers little thing.
Did
We're
you
definitely not
just
giving
do
it to
Aaron
him.
Rodgers? What? Cutler. Oh, no, that was bad. That was bad. It was not Cutler's last stand. No, that was a really
That
bad
was
joke.
not funny.
Oh,
Get out
no.
of here. That was not funny.
Whoa. Did you just do the
Yes, he did the discount double
insurance?
stay.
He did the
Discount double take.
That's what he.
the discount double check? Did you do the discount double check?
Oh my
All right,
God.
we'll give it to you,
That
sir.
is
Come on
awful.
up. Come on up, sir. Get your $25 gift certificate. That's fine.
Yeah. We should rip it. We should rip
Come
it
on
in
up.
two. Rip it in half and give it to him.
We're only going to give him $12.50, but that is a $25 gift certificate to Vernon.
Honest, it's not. It's really nothing.
Hey, we want to thank all you guys coming out to the Des Clark and Alex
You can
Brown
give it back
show.
if you want.
Are we here next week?
You can
We're
give it
here
back
next
We
week.
give that.
We're here next week. For those of you who tuned in on the web, come back next week to be in person, win some prizes. Tilted Kilt, 447 North Milwaukee Avenue, Vernon Hills, Illinois.
We'd like to
Thank
thank
you very
Jason
much.
Groh and his staff. We'd like to thank the crowd for coming out. Thank Otis Wilson for
Big round of applause for the Big O.
Thanks for coming out, guys. Really appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching. Desmond Clark, Alex Brown Show. We're
See y'all
over
next week.
and out.